Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is the piece that I'll be doing for today. Now this is going to be a little challenging because I'm in a very small place in the client's home who's in the process of moving. But before she moves this piece of furniture to her new home, she would like to have it refinished. So I'm just giving you a quick look at what it looks like. It is solid wood. I have taken off all the hardware except for one piece. And of course, she did not take her personal stuff out, but we're gonna get past that. So the first thing I wanna do is inspect the piece, and I see that the top portion is, I said it was solid, but it's not. It is a particle board underneath. So the top piece is warped on one side, and I have no idea what to do with that. Now this is the mirror that goes with the piece, and it's sitting leaning up against a wall. So I will be finishing that as well. It does have a king size bed that I'll be doing also, but I'll show you that a little later. Again, the drawers are solid. The top is a particle board with the veneer on top, and the veneer is destroyed on one side. So the first thing I want to do is take my TSP and really clean this piece. Now I'm going to go ahead and rinse off all the TSP residue with a fresh, clean rag. While I'm waiting for the dresser to dry, I've already started to tape off my mirror. Now I'm ready to sand. I'm using a sanding block with 180 grit sandpaper to rough up the surface of the piece so that it will accept my primer. I'm sorry that this is so out of focus, but I don't have my tripod and I'm trying to do it while holding my camera. I'm also noticing some rough edges, and I think this is part of the design, but I'm going to try my best to smooth those out. When I'm done sanding, I'll go ahead and use a damp cloth once again to wipe down the furniture to remove all the dust and debris from sanding. I let my piece dry for half an hour. Now it's time for the primer. Today I'm using my Zinger 123 primer, and I'm using it in the gray color. I first start with this old beat up paintbrush, and I paint in all the corners with the primer. Once all my corners are painted in, I switch over to a nap roller. I'm sorry, I forgot to turn on my camera, but I've already started to paint my piece. I'm using Rust-Oleum metallic paint in champagne gold. And here is a look at the mirror. It already has 2 coats of the champagne metallic gold paint. Now I'm ready to add my second coat of paint. I'm going to add my second coat of paint today, and then I'll let it dry, and I'll come back tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more space to work in. Here on the dresser, I see these little fine pinholes. Now, I did take some wood filler and try to fill them and sanded them back. And now I'm just going to paint over these few spots to see how it turned out. But before I do that, I'm going to mix my Rust-Oleum metallic paint and my top coat together and paint over it. This will help my paint resist scratches. I'll also add a top coat when I'm done. This piece also has markings on all the corners, and it cannot be sanded smooth. Now this piece does have lighter texture, and you can see the graining through the paint. But on a side note, when working with metallic paints, you want to make sure you make long, even strokes. This will help your paint to look smooth and flawless. Now here is 3 coats of paint added to my mirror. You can still see the texture of the wood as well as some of the markings on the wood. This again is a rustic style piece, and those imperfections could not be sanded away. I'm going to let this dry and come back and we can start to work on the bed. I've gotten the bed to a place where I can actually work on it. Now it's already been primed and the primer is drying. And here's a look at the footboard. I'm just starting to prime the footboard so that I can get it done as well. Again, it will be in the champagne gold to match the headboard. The primer is all dry, and now I'm adding my first coat of paint. Now it's time for the second coat of paint on the bed. While the paint is drying on the bed, I'm back to the dresser. I ordered the hardware and I thought it was 3 inches on center, but it's actually 5 inches on center. So that means I had to fill the holes. So I filled the holes, and now I'm in the process of sanding them, touching or repainting the drawers, and adding the hardware. Sorry, I thought my camera was on. So what I have done is pulled up all the water damaged veneer. And now I'm using my sander with the 80 grit sandpaper and sanding it smooth. After pulling off the veneer, there was more damages done. You can see where it soaked all the way through to the particle board. And the particle board is swollen in many of the areas on the top of the dresser. So I'm just going to sand it as smooth as I can and then go in with the wood filler. Okay, everyone, this is really hard. I'm working in someone's home. They're packing to move, and this is a very small space, and I have to get it done before she moves. I'm going to also go ahead and sand smooth any bubbles that I find in the veneer tile. Once I've gotten it smooth, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to 120 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to scuff up the top of my piece. I'll go ahead and make sure that I go over the areas that I sanded with the 80 grit sandpaper and smooth it out with the 120 grit. Now I'm ready to take my Elmer's wood filler. I want to fill in the rough areas as well as all the line creases that's into the piece to give it a smooth texture. While the wood filler is drying, here is some mirror mosaic tiles that I purchased from Amazon. They come in 12-inch sheets, and they're about an inch and maybe a quarter. And now I want to start to decorate the mirror and the headboard with these mirror tiles. Now I'm using those same mirror tiles, and I'm doing the same effect to the head of the bed. I've added 4 rows of the mirror mosaic tile to the top of the headboard. There's still a gap at the top that's wider than I would like it to be, And I'm going to take some 1/2 inch by 2 inch tiles to fill in. The wood filler is dry, and now I'm going to take my 120 grit sandpaper and sand the top of the desk once again to get it as smooth as possible. I'll go from a 120 to a 220 just to make sure the surface is smooth. So I've sanded my desk and I can still see some imperfections. So what I decided to do is go ahead and use my Zinsser 123 primer and prime the top of the dresser. The primer allows me to see all the imperfections in the top of the dresser. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and use a 220 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to try to smooth out those imperfections. Once I've sanded it down to the desired smoothness, I'll add my primer and let it dry. Now it's time to add my first coat of paint. Time for coat number 2. I'm going to continue adding my second coat of paint and primer. Also do a third coat, let it dry, and come back for the reveal. I am back, and here's my pieces complete. As you can see, I added mirrored tiles to the footboard as well. Now, I am in the client's new home, so she was so gracious to let me film it in her home. Now, there's still some touch-up paint that needs to be done on the bed, but I just wanted to show you how it turned out. At the top of the bed, you can see where I added the 1/2 inch by 2 inch mirror tiles there to fill in the empty space. I think it turned out absolutely fabulous. And here's another look at the foot of the bed. She wanted this rustic furniture turned into glam. I think we did a pretty good job of making it a glam bedroom set. And here is the dresser. Now, I did set the mirror on top of the dresser. It's not affixed, and she didn't want me to do any cleaning, so do excuse how the mirrors look. She wanted to clean it herself, but again, she allowed me to record it in the bedroom. I think it turned out absolutely fabulous. I love the hardware that's on the dresser. I did find a knob or a pull to go with it to enhance those pieces. Very, very pretty. I think she'll truly enjoy it. This is a sturdy piece of furniture, and she should have it for years to come. Now, this is the part of the video that everyone can take part in. It's time to hit the subscribe button. If you're out there watching and you're not a subscriber, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't forget the notification bell so you will be aware of all my upcoming videos. I want to say thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.